Hey everyone, MaryKay here. Just want to shout out on this Friday, last Friday of 2018. And if I don't talk to you before, I want to wish you a very, very happy new year when it comes. And tonight I want to talk to you, as you saw in the title, are your habits ruining your life? Hey Victoria. Hey Judy. Nice to see ya. Very jelly of Victoria down in Jamaica. Hey Brandy, thanks for joining. So I want to give you a little news flash. You are what you practice. We are what we practice every single day. The problem is that we're not practicing the right things. We're practicing things like being afraid, playing small, being scarce, being judgmental. We're practicing things that aren't moving us toward our goals. So let me ask you a question. If we are what we practice every single day, hi Cara, then wouldn't it make sense to practice the life we want to live? It would, right? It would. So we're going to talk about some habits that you can employ to help you to do that. But the question I want to ask you is, what's the life that you want to live? As we close off here 2017 and we look at going into a new year, this is resolution time. What is the life that you want to live in 2018? Because guess what? Life is passing you by right now, moment by moment. It is passing us by. If you know what I'm talking about, drop a 1 in the comments below. And by the way, if you think anybody could benefit from listening to this talk, please share and I will shout you out here live or otherwise. So, what's the life you want to live as you look at 2018, as you look at another opportunity to go into a new year? And who is that man or woman who is going to have to be to live that life? What are the personality traits and characteristics of the man or woman that's going to live the life that you have set out for yourself? I mean, me personally, like what I'm creating is financial freedom. Like I'm creating being financially free, right? And so who am I going to get to be financially free? I get to be that woman right now. Okay, I don't get to wait when this lines up and when this circumstance happens and then that circumstance happens and then this other thing occurs, then I'll be able to be financially free, because it's never going to happen. It's got to start with who I'm being right now. So I want to pose that question to you as you consider, what are your options? What is it that you're creating in 2018 and what are you waiting for? Okay, so I mean, obviously we are what we practice, right? So if we're practicing poor eating habits, we're not going to be healthy, right? We're not going to have the body that we want. If we're practicing, scarcity, then we're not going to be abundant. It's pretty simple. You get what I'm saying, right? So some of the practices that you can employ to really transform your life, we're going to talk about 5 of them. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first practice is gratitude. Okay, gratitude. Very simple. So if you can practice being grateful for everything, large and small, even the things that you didn't want to happen, your life will transform. Because how many of you have ever had something happen that at the time you were, oh my God, like what is this all about? And then later on, you were like, oh my gosh, if that didn't happen, then this door wouldn't have opened, and then that opportunity wouldn't have occurred, and I wouldn't be here today. If that's ever happened to you, drop a 2 in the comments below, because I want to hear if that's ever occurred for you, because I know that's happened for me many, many, many times. So, I'm of the opinion that when things happen, they happen because we're asking for something, and then the universe or whatever you believe in opens doors and gives us circumstances to move us in that direction. So the first thing you get to do when something occurs is to say thank you. Thank you so much for whatever it is that occurred, because I know I get to trust that it's moving me in the right direction and in the directions of who I say I am and what it is that I say that I want in my life. Okay? So practice gratitude. I've been practicing every single day. I talked about this in my live yesterday. I got this little book called the 5-Minute Journal. There's an app for it, and there's also a hard copy that you can get. I actually got the hard copy, and every day I get to write down what I'm grateful for. But here's the trick. I'm writing down what I'm grateful for in terms of what I'm creating. So I'm grateful for being financially free. By writing that down every single day, it creates something. I'm going to talk about journaling here in a second, but be grateful. So number 2 is listening, practicing listening, right? Do you know that most people don't listen? Most people are listening to themselves talk instead of actually listening to someone else. And did you know that listening is one of the greatest honors that you can give to another person? One of the greatest gifts that you can give to someone else is to actually be present with them and listen. And in today's world, we're all so, I know I am, let me just speak for myself. You know, I'll be on the phone and I'll be multitasking and this and that. And you know what? People can tell when I'm doing that. And that's one of my commitments, is to be present with the people that I'm talking to on the phone or in person, and stay off my device and be present, because it's a huge gift to practice listening to other people. And, you know, I've seen people literally transform in front of my eyes by just being completely 100% present with them. So practice listening. Okay, it allows something else to emerge other than the thoughts that you have in your head. What am I going to say next? Or, you know, blah, 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 whatever's going on in our heads. Okay. The third practice, the third habit that you can employ to help you transform your life is meditation. Do you know that there are studies that have shown that people who start their day with 10 minutes of meditation are more successful than people who don't? Just 10 minutes. Would it be worth 10 minutes of your day to just sit quietly and breathe, or sit quietly and practice whatever style of meditation that you choose to take on, whether it's transcendental meditation or just breathing or just sitting in silence or whatever it may be, or a guided meditation? Very, very powerful. You know, it reduces stress. It's also been shown that when you meditate, you release endorphins, and so it makes you happier as well, right? And this is, I have to admit, this is one of the practices that I'm still working on, because I'm such an A-type personality that it's hard for me to sit still for even 1 minute, you know, let alone 10. But it's something that I'm definitely taking on. And of course, it lowers your blood pressure, it reduces stress, all of that good stuff. Number 4 is journaling. Journaling. So do you know that when you write something down, it burns like a pathway in your brain? It tells your brain, this is important, okay? So that you start to create it. Your brain starts to actually look for the doors opening, so that whatever it is that you're writing down and journaling about, if you're journaling about your goals or, you know, your dreams and your aspirations, your brain starts looking for ways to have that happen. So that's why I personally got the hard copy of that 5-minute journal, because I'm finding that by writing down my dreams and my goals every single day, it makes me more present to them and keeps me more accountable. So it also provides an outlet for stress. It provides an outlet for, you know, processing your emotions around things. It's a very, very powerful tool. And I love that I can do it in 5 minutes with that little structure that I created. So again, the 5-minute journal is what I'm using, but any journaling. It also strengthens self-discipline. And, you know, believe it or not, people think, they look at me and are like, oh, you're so disciplined. Well, I can be so chaotic sometimes. And I'm finding that by journaling, it helps to steady me and put me on a path. So journaling. And then number 5, last but not least, is mindfulness. And mindfulness, I looked at the definition of mindfulness, is a state of awareness being mindful, right, then promotes awareness. So being mindful in your speaking, being mindful in what you're eating, being mindful in how you're being with someone, not just being on automatic because you're in a hurry, or or if I'm annoyed or whatever it may be, just being mindful of not just myself and my own state, but other people is something that can be very, very, very powerful. And remember that the deed follows the thought. So if we're being mindful about how we're being, how we're showing up, then we can act in accordance with that mindfulness. And again, not just be on automatic. So it creates focus, and it also is emotional reactivity. So that, when we're mindful, we can take a step back. We can think about things before we open our mouth or before we take an action. And that we know can change everything. So I hope that has given you a little bit of value. And again, if it has, feel free to share this with anybody that you think might benefit from this info. And as always, I'm a complete open book. So if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to send me a private message or drop a comment below, and I'll be glad to offer you my perspective on anything. So with that, everybody, who are you going to be for 2018? Thank you so much for joining me on this last Friday night of 2017. I cannot even believe this year is over. I'm wishing you all the very, very best. And with that, sending you much love into 2018. Maybe I'll see you before the new year, and maybe I'll see you next year. Love you guys. Bye.